Hey Chaotic Crew, Brian here, and we've got another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle deck tech for you. This time, of course, is Raph and Mikey Troublemakers. And of course, once a troublemaker, always a troublemaker. I'm going to dive right in, but first, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Mana Pool. It's a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value in buying cards, and the team is focused on making it a great experience for buyers and sellers alike. If you're interested in getting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pre-con, we are still giving one away. Make sure to check out our pre-con upgrade. Comment on the video, and we'll be announcing the giveaway winner for anyone in the US on our Twitch stream next Friday, twitch.tv/chaoticcommandermtg, and that'll be at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. So make sure to tune in for that and get your chance to become a Turtle Power Precon. But going onto this deck tech, Raph and Mikey Troublemakers, a really fun Gruul card here. 5 mana and 2 hybrid Gruul symbols, so 7 mana total for a 7/7 Trample Haste Mutant Ninja Turtle. Whenever Raph and Mikey attack, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, really good card here. Gruul decks usually love lots of mana dorks, and Raph and Mikey actually wants you to steer clear of that. You're using mainly ramp spells and ways to play extra lands that would be helpful to get Raph and Mikey out quickly. They have immediate impact because the turn they're in, they can automatically get something for free. So you're really playing a lot of big creatures in this deck, and so Raph and Mikey really great for anyone who cares about big stompy. We are running 3 Planeswalkers. These do help ramp us all, right? Domri and Arcabolas is going to also buff our creatures, which is helpful, but can ramp us, make sure that, Raph and Mikey aren't countered, and then can also be semi-creature removal, right? So pretty solid there. Domri Chaos Bringer is great too. It also adds mana for spells, and it gives them Riot. So Raph and Mikey already have haste. Other creatures may not have haste in the deck, but can have them enter with the +1/+1 counter if they have haste. -3 gets us, to a couple creatures to our hand from our library, which is great. And then the big minus is a good game-ending, ultimate right there to get a 4/4 at each instep. So pretty good. Luca, Bound to Ruin. I always liked Luca. It's not the best, right? It's maybe like 1 mana more than it should be, but a really strong card, especially with a lot of high-powered creatures in this deck. The -4 is a semi-board wipe, right? You can get rid of a lot of creatures with his -4, but mainly using him for the +1 to add 2 mana, and then he can also make 3/3 beasts as well, but you're mainly using him for additional ramp, right? You play him on turn 4 or 5, and you're guaranteed to be able to get Raph and Mikey the next turn. So really good there. So creatures, we are running 33 in here, and you definitely I said in the beginning, you really don't want to play too many mana dork, because you don't want to hit a mana dork off of Raph and Mikey, right? You want to hit a really big creature. So if I were to rebuild this, and people who want to make this deck really mean and really strong, I would take out all kind of mana dorks, right? But I do have a couple in here. We do have Delighted Halfling to help make Raph and Mikey uncounterable. Again, that's just a really easy way to get rid of Raph and Mikey. He dies to removal too, but being able to counter it is really strong. So stopping that is imperative. Fanatic of Ronus, I kept in because he adds 4 mana, and then even if he dies, right, because if you get a mana dork off of Raph and Mikey, they're probably going to die. But even if, Fanatic of Ronus dies, you can eternalize it. It's not too bad. And then Elysian Caryatid can just be a quicker way to add 2 mana rather than 1 mana. And then Goblin Necromancer obviously is just too strong to not include in any Gruul deck. Make everything cost 1 less to cast. So those are kind of our mana dorks, right? But creatures, right? Creatures are going to be doing everything. They're going to be doing removal. They're going to be drawing cards. They're going to be doing as much as they can because that's what we care about. Acidic Slime is great here to destroy an artifact, enchantment, or even a land. So really good there. Apex Altasaur can get rid of 2, 3, maybe 4 creatures on the battlefield when it enters, so really good to just get for free off of Raph and Mikey. Adeline Jackal, you don't really want to get off of Mikey either, outright, but good early game to sort of be able to come in and deal damage, get some lands. Battle Mammoth is not bad as well, right? Whenever the permanent recontrol becomes the target of a spell or ability, we may draw a card. It's going to be great because people will want to remove Raph and Mikey. They will be holding up removal, right? So really imperative that if you're able to get an attack off, you make it count. Bloodthirster, you could run a bunch of effects like Bloodthirster in the deck to give you multiple combat steps. In my opinion, that's maybe not the most fun because it's kind of samey. You're doing a lot of the same thing, but getting Bloodthirster is nice. You can run away with the game with it. So honestly, I would probably take this out if you have a more fun casual group. But there are people who have really competitive high power groups, so I wanted to include this in there just as like a, hey, you probably will want stuff like this in there, but just know that getting it off of Raph and Mikey probably ends the game right there, right? Like you are going to be in so far of a lead after that you're going to be dominating the game from that point. You will be the arch enemy. So Bloodthirster is great, but maybe not something you want to have if you want to have friends, right? Chomping Changeling is really great here, just a way to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Combustible Gearhulk can draw you cards or have you mill 3, right? Someone knowing you're a big creature deck may be okay with you milling 3 and taking, potentially 20 damage to the face. More likely they'll take maybe like 8, so really gotta think about that for them. Dragonborn Champion's great to keep really filling our hand. Right, we're going to be dealing 5 or more damage to a player. Atali, gotta have it in any rule deck. Evercoat Ursine, I really want to find more places to put this because it's really a good card, right? Hideaway 3 is fantastic to get 6 cards off the top of your library and 2 of them be useful, right? It's essentially delayed draw 2, and cast them for free. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, if there are cards exiled, you may play one of them without paying its mana cost. So, it's really great. This enters in with Raph and Mikey for free, and you were likely going to be dealing damage with it. You get to cast something for free. Just really, really strong. We already talked about Fanatic Aronas. Frenzied Bailiff, another card you probably don't want to be getting off of Raph and Mikey. We've got a handful of those. Not ideal, but can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and combat damage can't be prevented. So this actually is a counter to Teferi's Protection, right? If someone Teferi's Protection and you have this on the board, or you get this off of Raph and Mikey, then you actually are, you just kill them anyways, and they have no creatures to block, so that's kind of crazy. Galta Primal Hunger is fantastic in here. Giant Ataphage is really great, right? If you can deal damage with it, either getting it with Raph and Mikey on the battlefield, you just keep making tokens of Giant Ataphage and it can go out of control. Goblin Narcomancer we talked about. Goreclaw just makes Raph and Mikey cost cheaper, as well as most of the other creatures in here. Got Kodama of the East Tree, so as we're getting free stuff with Raph and Mikey, you can get free stuff with Kodama of the East Tree, or those are really good there. Orin Frostfang gives all of our creatures Death Touch, which is busted, and then will draw us cards, so that's fantastic. Osier Chasm is really great too. When it deals combat damage, you essentially get a free creature or land, or creature and a land, put them on the battlefield. Really great. Quartzwood Crasher, going to be making big dinosaurs with trample. Most of the cards in here do have trample, including our commander, so Quartzwood Crasher works there, and continuing to get big bodies. Raphael Tag Team Tough is another card like the Bloodthirster, but in theme with the deck, that is going to be dealing combat damage. So he could potentially give you 3 extra combat phases, and he has Menace, so that's really nice there. And the other Raphael gives our attacking creatures double strike, so this is an attack trigger, not a damage trigger, but it's still really strong, especially with all our trample cards right here. Reclamation Sage destroys an artifact or enchantment. Stonebrow will give our creatures +2/+2 if they have trample and they attack, so really nice there for our Trample Kindred deck going on here. Serac and Goreclaw, going to give our creatures haste and trample and give them counters, so that's really good. Terror of Mount Velis, when it enters, attacking creatures we control have double strike, or just creatures in general, but if usually you're casting this or getting it for free with Raph and Mikey, or you could play it on the battlefield the turn of, but it can attack itself. That turn is really good. Getting double strike to our creatures is just fantastic. Thundermare is a fun card here. When it enters, right, if you get it off of Raph and Mikey, right, they can't attack. If you get it with Raph and Mikey, your creatures are already attacking, right? So Thundermare taps all creatures. Short opens you up to massive crackback, right? But you're going to be dealing lots of damage to your opponents with Thundermare, making sure that they can't block at all. Triplicate Titan is fantastic in here. Get it for free is great, and then later turns is just a really good blocker. Vaultborn Tyrant is great to draw us cards, gain us life. Wolfgar Vicewind Dale is, a hidden golden card here just because it doubles your commander's trigger. And then Zopandrel, Hunger Dominus, doubling the power and toughness of each creature we control, beginning of each combat. Not just ours, it's our opponent's too. Really strong there. Sorceries, we have 13. There are a good amount of ramp spells in here, like 3 visits, Shared Roots, Search for Tomorrow, Rampant Growth, Kodama's Reach, Nature's Lore, Farseek, Cultivate. We're also running Geosurge, right? Turn 4, if we can cast Geosurge, we get our commander out, and it has haste, right? Ironcrag Feet, turn 4 or 3, even if we've ramped, cast our commander and attack. So really good there. We're also running Overpowering Attack. It's another way to get an extra combat step. Call Forth the Tempest is really good here. We have a lot of big spells, so being able to Cascade, we're typically going to be doing, 8 damage to each opponent's creature, and we get to cast spells for free, so love that. And then Elven Farsight as a way to scry 3, right? Scry 3, make it so that our next card is free, although putting a creature on top, we have to draw that card, so you have to really think about how you level this out. It doesn't always work where you can scry 3 and then get whatever you want to cheat out for free with Raph and Mikey. You need 2 creatures, draw 1, and then the next one that's on top is the one that Raph and Mikey get you for free, so really good there. Instance, we've got Interest Restoration as an additional ramp spell, and we've got Beast Within, Chaos Warp as some removal. Collective Resistance can be removal or protection, or both, so love that. And then Tameo Safekeeping is also good protection. As far as artifacts, right, we are running the Greaves for protection. We're running Great Hinge, and that's really great to draw us cards and give creature buffs. Doors of Durin is fantastic because when we attack, we scry 2, which we love that. And then we can reveal the top card of the library. If it's a creature, put it on the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Play your next turn against Trample if you control a dwarf, and Hexproof if you control an elf. That last part isn't really important. We don't really have dwarves or elves in here, but scrying 2 when we attack is fantastic, and then getting a creature for free is essentially a backup of our commander, so really like that here. Herd Heirloom is another ramp spell for our creatures, and it can draw us cards. It can also give creatures trample, so really good there. We have 7 enchantments, right? Shadow in the Warp, Rhythm of the Wild. Rhythm of the Wild is great to make our creatures uncounterable, and it also gives them Riot, which is nice. Shadow in the Warp can make our stuff cost less, and also punishes our opponents for casting non-creature spells. Wild Growth, Utopia Sprawl are both other ramp pieces. We've got Garrick's Uprising to draw us more cards, keep refilling our hand, and then Unnatural Growth is like Zopandrel, going to be doubling the power and toughness of each creature we control until end of turn, so really good there. World War Hulk, it's a card that hasn't been released yet, but it essentially is like the Ironcrag Feat, where it's going to make it so that we can cast our commander for free, right? Obviously, command tax is something if we've cast it before, but World War Hulk, if we get this on turn 4 or 5, we cast our commander for free. Then you really don't care about the second 2, but they're also good, right? Giving 3 counters to a creature, and then the third chapter, doubles the power and toughness and gives a creature trample that you have, so really good there. 34 lands, not a ton, right? So we kind of like to have a bit more in the deck, but because we have so much ramp, I'm actually not worried about it. Not at all. So I think we're in a good spot here to play test, and we will just go down here. Oh, we'll definitely keep this. 3 mana, 2 ramp spells, draw for turn. Thornspire Verge is nice. Merchant Strict tap, and we surveil. We will keep Luca on top, actually. And so next turn, we will play the Thornspire Verge, and we will Nature's Lore. And let's go ahead and get our Stomping Ground. Alright, turn 4. We play the Mountain, and we play Luca completed, so we pay 2 life. Enters in with 2 less counters, but we +1 to 4. It's very unlikely on turn 3 someone's going to be able to deal 4 damage to Luca. So now we're actually in such a good position. If we want a blocker instead, we can -1 to bring him down to 2 and have a 3/3 blocker. That's less ideal, but you could totally do that. And then next turn, right, we are set. Next turn, we have 5, 6, 7. We can cast our commander. So people will probably hold up answers. Or if they don't, they want to follow their own game plan, which happens in a lot of commander games. You attack, and we get, what do we get for free? Oh, we get an Evercoat Ursign for free. Oh my gosh. Let's see what we get. Hideaway 3, first one. Raphael, the Night Watcher. Really good. And what's the second hideaway? Ooh, lands. Okay. I like Mossor Bridge as a land, right? So we can do both of those. We've already played a land this turn, so I think you could definitely play another one, but this is going to deal damage as well. And then we get a free Raphael, the Night Watcher, first. And then the next turn we can get a free Mossor Bridge, or if we wanted to, we can get a free Mossor Bridge this time around. But yeah, we're in a really strong position now. We're definitely... yeah, this is a really high-powered card, right, to have in your command zone, Raph and Mikey. I think it's definitely more fair in the 99. When you have it in the command zone and you're focused on just blitzing him out and getting big stuff for free, you were pretty much asking to not be able to play the game and be removed every time this enters. They're a very strong card. Let's do another game. We have 2 lands here and some ramp spells, so let's go for it. Path of Ancestry is nice to have. Okay, Firelit Thicket. Let's Shared Roots. And grab me a forest. Turn 3, we will cultivate. And get a forest to the battlefield and a mountain to my hand. And then we would get to play that mountain. Right, so these are all tapped though, so we can't do anything with that mountain. But now turn 4, we have World War Hulk, right? We can play it. Someone could counter it, sure. But then we get free Raph and Mikey, and then let's attack and see what we get. Reclamation Sage, destroy an artifact or enchantment. Not bad, not great, not bad. Someone may be able to kill Rec Sage. Someone will probably remove this on our next turn. Let's see how next turn goes. No lands is rough, I will say that. But we can play Garrus Uprising and pass. Oof, another no land. Yeah, that is tough when you're only using 34 lands. Frenzied Baloth is not bad. We can Rhythm of the Wild, play Frenzied Baloth, have it enter with a counter, and so we can draw a card. Okay. And this is dead right now. But next turn we can, again, no land. We can Dorso Duran to get something for free, which is not bad either. So yeah, we get, as soon as Raph and Mikey got removed that time, we were in a rough position. The first game, that wasn't really the case, right? We can keep going with other stuff. Let's see another game. 2 lands and a ramp spell. Sure. Let's see what happens. Okay, Never Punish. We get a 3rd land. And let's Nature's Lore for commercial district. And when that happens, we'll surveil one. We'll keep a land on top, sure. Next turn, we'll play Spire Garden. And we'll also play the Lightning Greaves. Next turn, we get a Stomping Ground. Lovely. Don't really have anything we can play, right? Next turn, turn 5 now. Ooh, Volgar is good setup for the commander, but that we have to draw a land on the next turn to be able to do that. So I love playing the Combustible Gearhulk instead. Someone may have us mill cards. If they do, they lose 8, 12, 17 life. They just lost 17 life off of a Combustible Gearhulk. Oh my goodness. Or if they let you draw the cards, right? If you're playing Politics, they could let you draw the cards. Sure, that's great. And now, next turn, we're doing really good. We're doing pretty good there. So, yeah, great deck, really powerful deck. Hope you enjoyed the deck tech. Let me know what cards you would put in, what cards you would take out. Don't forget to check out our Turtle Power Precon upgrade. Obviously, liking that video. If you comment your favorite piece of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle media, then you are entered in for a chance to win a free Turtle Power Precon if you're based in the US. And of course, we're going to be announcing the winners of that giveaway on next Friday, March 13th at 9:30 p.m. Central Time on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/chaoticCommanderMTG. So make sure to check that out. And otherwise, I'll be back next week with another deck tech. Take care.